Grief is a powerful emotional experience, especially for children who often lack the language and emotional tools to express what they feel. In this story, Daniel's illness is not caused by a virus or physical disorder, but by deep, unexpressed grief after the death of his mother. Because no one openly talked to him about her death, Daniel internalized his sadness. Over time, this emotional pain manifested physically: loss of appetite, fatigue, and withdrawal from life. This illustrates how emotional suffering, when ignored or suppressed, can affect the body. Children process grief differently from adults. Daniel did not cry loudly or act out. Instead, he became quiet, polite, and emotionally withdrawn. His behavior was misunderstood as weakness or illness rather than emotional distress. The fact that he slept over a box of his mother's belongings for months shows how desperately he was holding onto his loss in silence. His body slowly shut down because his heart was overwhelmed. The story highlights a crucial psychological truth. When emotions are not expressed, they do not disappear. Instead, they find other ways to surface. Daniel's physical decline was his unspoken cry for help. His illness was not imaginary. It was real, but its roots were emotional. This point emphasizes the importance of recognizing grief early, especially in children, and providing safe spaces where emotions can be shared openly without fear or judgment. Modern society often turns immediately to medicine to solve every problem, especially when it involves health. In the story, Marcus consults numerous doctors, specialists, and medical tests in an attempt to cure his son. Despite all the resources and expertise, no diagnosis is found. This failure highlights an important reality. Not all suffering originates in the body. Some pain is emotional, psychological, or spiritual, and cannot be treated with medication or machines. Daniel's condition confuses doctors because they are trained to look for physical symptoms and measurable abnormalities. Blood tests, scans, and examinations show nothing wrong. Yet Daniel continues to deteriorate. This gap between medical results and lived reality shows the limitations of medicine when emotional trauma is ignored. The doctors were not wrong. They were simply looking in the wrong place. The story does not criticize medicine itself, but reminds us that human beings are complex. Health is not only physical well-being, but also emotional balance. Rosa succeeds where doctors fail because she observes Daniel as a whole person, not a case file. She listens, notices his sadness, and builds trust. Her insight reveals that empathy and human connection can be just as important as clinical expertise. This point encourages a more holistic understanding of health. Emotional pain deserves the same seriousness as physical illness. When grief is ignored, it can silently destroy a person. True healing often requires addressing both body and heart together. Marcus believes that removing reminders of his late wife will help both him and Daniel move on. He packs away her belongings, removes photographs, and avoids speaking about her. While his intention is protective, the result is harmful. By erasing his wife's presence from the house, Marcus unintentionally erases Daniel's emotional connection to his mother, leaving the child feeling abandoned and confused. Memories are not the cause of pain. Unprocessed grief is. Daniel's pain deepens because he feels forced to grieve in secret. He hides his mother's belongings under his bed, creating a private shrine where he can remember her without upsetting his father. This secrecy increases his loneliness and emotional burden. Instead of healing, the absence of memories makes the loss feel more permanent and frightening. The story teaches that remembering loved ones is not a weakness. Memories help people process loss and maintain emotional continuity. Suppressing memories sends the message that love must be forgotten, which can feel like a second loss. For Daniel, it feels as if his mother has been erased from existence. Healing requires integration, not deletion. When Marcus finally brings back his wife's portrait and shares memories with Daniel, both begin to heal. This shows that acknowledging loss allows love to evolve rather than disappear. Pain lessens not by forgetting, but by remembering together. Rosa's greatest strength is not her medical training, but her empathy. Unlike previous caregivers, she does not rigidly follow schedules or treat Daniel like a patient. Instead, she listens, observes, and connects with him as a human being. She notices his politeness, his sadness, and his emotional distance. These details allow her to see what others miss, by sharing stories from her own childhood. Rosa creates a safe, emotional space. She does not force Daniel to speak, but invites him gently. This patience builds trust. When Daniel finally opens up about his mother, the emotional healing begins. Rosa's ability to listen without judgment is what allows the truth to surface. This point highlights the healing power of being truly seen. Medicine treats symptoms, but empathy addresses suffering. Rosa does not replace doctors. She complements what medicine cannot do. Her compassion uncovers the real cause of Daniel's illness. The story reminds us that sometimes the most powerful cure is human connection. A caring presence, a listening ear, and emotional honesty can restore life where treatment fails. Empathy transforms pain into something manageable and shared. Marcus Whitfield is not an uncaring father. He is a grieving husband who has lost the love of his life. His mistake is not cruelty, but emotional avoidance. He believes that staying busy and removing reminders of his wife will protect his son and himself from pain. In reality, this avoidance isolates both of them. Adults often believe they must be strong for their children. Marcus hides his grief, thinking vulnerability would harm Daniel. However, this silence creates emotional distance. Daniel interprets his father's behavior as rejection, believing he is a problem rather than a loved child. The story shows that parents are human. They feel fear, confusion, and grief just like children. Marcus's journey is one of learning that strength does not mean emotional silence. When he finally allows himself to grieve openly, he becomes a better parent. This point emphasizes forgiveness and understanding. Parents do not need to be perfect. They need to be honest. Children benefit when adults model healthy emotional expression. Marcus's growth shows that healing is possible at any age when one is willing to face pain instead of running from it. The turning point of the story occurs when grief is no longer carried alone. When Marcus and Daniel finally talk about the mother they lost, something changes. Their shared sorrow becomes a bond rather than a barrier. Crying together, remembering together, and admitting sadness allows healing to begin. Shared grief reduces isolation. Daniel no longer feels alone in his pain, and Marcus no longer feels he must suffer in silence. Their rituals, lighting candles, creating memory books, visiting meaningful places, transform grief into connection. Pain does not disappear, but it becomes lighter when shared. This point highlights a universal truth. Healing is relational. Humans are not meant to carry sorrow alone. Emotional pain lessens when acknowledged and validated by others. By talking openly, father and son rebuild trust and love. The story ends with hope, showing that grief does not end love. Instead, love changes form. Shared grief becomes shared strength. True healing begins not when sadness ends, but when it is accepted together.